Okay. Anyway, just for
So, but people can send questions in the chat box if they have any questions, because it's meant to be a question and answer session.
yeah, it's meant to be a question and answer session. So if you have any question, if you have can you send it? Just for us to understand what we're doing. Just to understand what we're doing. As we know, there's always information is important. Information is power. It's what it matters in today's life, in today's living, is information. And so I had a lot of people asking me, oh, there's teachers, there's going to be a visa route to come to the UK and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not a teacher, but I think for me, you need to understand what it means to be a teacher. As we know about this time, funny enough, Facebook reminded me today, this same on the 22nd of January last year, I did a video about healthcare visa.
Wow.
Yeah. So
1 year
Facebook reminded me.
Yeah.
And the thing with my experience with that healthcare visa, a lot of people didn't have understanding what they were coming to say. No, no idea, they don't know what was happening, So, and I thought to myself, and this time when I didn't even know, it was people that was like, oh, Jane, what is happening now? What is happening? What is happening? And I'm like, from my experience, I think I need somebody to tell you what is teaching about.
Yeah.
And then you can decide if you want to come and if it's something that is for you. And I don't have enough information, apart from that my children go to school, and somebody that has been in the education system would tell you better, because it's a different thing when you take your child to school than when you're in the system yourself. And then I thought, okay. And I just want to say, our guest today is not an immigration officer.
No,
it's not.
I don't even know anything about it. Like, if you ask me about immigration now, I'll just be looking at you.
It's not a recruitment agency or anything like that. It's just somebody that have understanding about education and just wants to share information. Questions. Someone that has understanding of what is happening in the UK educational system, and even though she's a professional, but she's answering this question based on personal experience. So not in the capacity of professional, so that you will not say, but you thought. No, this is this is personal experience. Do your due diligence as well. Do your due diligence as well before. But broadly, we'll bring you broadly good information. So I've been yatting too much. Let us just go and find out from you. Can just introduce yourself, and before I ask the questions that you have.
So my name is Onyoma Digwe. I've been living in the UK since 2002. Yeah, it's like donkey years ago. Probably ready to go back to Nigeria now, but you know. But I came to the UK to do my master's. Then after my master's, like I think during my master's, I started teaching people in my class econometrics. So everybody was like, "Oh my God, you should, everybody calls me Oma here. You should go and be a teacher. Just go and be a teacher. Like look at you teaching us better than like our teachers, like our lecturers." I was like, teacher for what? Then, when my master's was finished, I started applying for jobs. Jobs were not coming. Then everybody kept saying, teacher. They're giving teachers visas, or they're giving you that kind of thing. And I was like, do you know what? Let me even look into this thing. So I started looking online for how to become a teacher, because I don't know, apart from my secondary school teachers, I don't know how to become a teacher. So in the UK, you've got to have a first degree. Like you have to have a BSc or BEd. No matter what is happening, you have to have that B in front of it, no HND or whatever, for you to train to be a teacher. So I started looking. I went to the website I'm looking at now at the moment. It used to be just gov.uk or Get Into Teaching. applied for, like, just when said I'm interested in this teaching thing. Then there was a massive shortage of teachers in the UK, so they were looking for people to come back into teaching. So they say they've got some sessions that they're running for people to go and experience life in a UK school for like a day or two. So I was like, oh, that would be interesting. Let me see if this is what I can actually do. So I signed up online. They posted me to school in London. So I spent 2 days in this school. Sometimes I'll just be there looking at these children and say, hey, me, you do this thing with these children. Teacher will say, excuse me, what do you mean? And I'm like, hey. So that for the 2 days, I was just sitting like this. I don't even think I did anything. I don't think I helped the teacher with anything. So after the 2 days, he came to me and went, do you think this is for you? And I'm like, no, God forbid. Like, I went like proper Nigeria. I went, God forbid. I said, how do you keep your cool when these children are talking to you like you're a piece of death? He was like, it comes with the training. But what really got me was the way the man was like interacting with them. Even when they give him attitude, he's like, he gives them attitude back. I was like, okay, maybe it's not all that bad. So carried on. When I started doing my dissertation, they now sent us these emails to say, there's this mathematics enhancement course and physics and science enhancement, can't even talk properly, enhancement course that the government were going to pay for. If you're interested in going into teaching and you don't have a maths degree or a science degree, you can go and do this course for 6 months, and they'll pay sort of like a stipend towards it. So the course will be free, but they'll pay you like living expenses. I was like, me, I don't have British passport or British visa, whatever. They went, no, it's for everybody once you get your visa for it. So by then my visa was about to expire. I was finished, and I was like, okay, let me just quickly go and apply for this thing. So I applied for it. There were 2 schools doing it, and both schools gave me admission to come and study for 6 months. I say, studies, I don't have job. Study for 6 months. They'll pay you like £500 a month. Let's go. So I went to Liverpool to do this mathematics enhancement course, and that was like the best thing I did in my life.
Oh.
So 6 months of going to uni, learning maths that I already know, because the only subject I was good at in school was maths and physics. That was the only thing I was very good at. And I went into university and did engineering, so I still loved my maths and physics bit. So what we'll do then was we'll spend every block of 6 weeks in university doing our maths work, getting better at maths. Then 2 weeks we'll spend it in secondary schools in Liverpool or environments. So I now started to get involved in, I'll help a teacher do this, do that. They'll come and say, oh, do you want to teach the class tomorrow? No, I don't want to teach the class tomorrow. But before you knew it, I started enjoying working with teenagers. They are hard people to work with. But once you come down to their level, you're not going to be their friend. Though. I tell them that I have so many friends, guys. I don't want friends. I want you to learn. Once they know that you're there for them, you want them to do well. These children, they'll be eaten out of your hands. Yeah. Like in my school, you roll your eyes, I roll my eyes. I have eyes to roll. This girl the other day, she was like, excuse me, what do you mean? I was like, darling, look at me. I have face, I have eyes. You roll your eyes, I roll my eyes. So I use humor, I use sarcasm to get them going. But long and short of it was, we did the maths enhancement, and if you pass the maths enhancement, they put you into the PGCE. So the PGCE is Postgraduate Certificate of Education, which is what everybody needs. You need that year, even when you finish like a BSc, you need that year to train to teach. So Liverpool, once you pass the course, they'll give you straight admission into the PGCE. So most people in my cohort, I think we're about 40 that did the maths enhancement, about 22, because 2 people dropped out, about 20 of us, I think, got into the PGCE. So we spent a year doing PGCE, then straight after your PGCE, you get your qualified teacher status. That now brings me to the thing the UK government are running now for teachers from Nigeria and everything, is that if you've trained outside, normally if you've trained outside the UK, you've got to apply or come and spend a year here doing that. Unless you've trained like in, before it used to be Canada, America, South Africa, Zimbabwe. A lot of South African and Zimbabwe teachers came that time to get their qualified teacher status. So now what they're saying is that if you've trained in Nigeria, you can go to the website online, which is apply for QTS in England and Wales. And I think what I'll do, Jane, is when we finish, because I couldn't do this on my laptop, I've had it on my screen so I can be putting it on the chat.
Okay.
People can go and check whether they're eligible to apply for their QTS.
Okay.
So that QTS means qualified teacher status. So once you get that QTS, you can now start applying for jobs in the UK. And believe me when I say there are shortage of teachers, like they are crying out for teachers, especially if you're maths, if you're science. They really need maths, science, design, technology as well. Food technology teachers, there is a massive shortage of them. So once you know you've got your QTS, then you can start to apply to schools. And I think the schools will now help you do your tier 2 visas and things like that. But I don't know much about that one. So yeah, that was how my journey into teaching came. So the thing with teaching is that once you start it, you get a job. Like I started my PGC in September. By February, I had a job in a school, and they with the school applied for my visa and everything. And here we come. Here we are, 17 years later. I'm thinking whether I still want to be a teacher.
I think most people's story is like that, and you've had a unique experience, and you were prepared. What's that saying they say about opportunity meets preparation, or is it preparation meets opportunity?
Yeah.
So either way it goes, you were prepared. Just a quick question here before you continue. They're just this says, so what's the average starting salary for?
Okay, so I've got it actually. I have it up here because teacher brain. I thought I would be able to share my screen. I was like, no, we're not on Google Meet or Zoom. But so I'm looking at the September 2023 now. So what they're trying to do, what the government are trying to do, is to make the starting salary 30,000. But at the moment, it's 28. It's 28 now. So M1. But people like me, like when I started, I think it was like 19,000, something like that. But I didn't start on M1 because I was like, I'm not taking that. Why would you give me M1? So you can argue to start on M2 and things. Then when some of my mates that we started, like after, how did you get that? I was like, because I asked. I said, I'm experienced. I've got my distance, and I knew they were looking for maths teachers. So even though they said the starting salary is 28,000, so as at 1st of September 2022, M1 is a minimum. There's no teacher will be paid less than 28,000. But this is outside London. Yeah? Wait for this. So 28,000 for outside London, like where I live now, where Jane lives, is 28,000. Now, if you live in London, it's a different ball game. Yeah. See, these London people, because they pay a lot of rent.
And
things. Yeah. It's completely different. So outer London and fringe. So they call it inner London. They've got outer London, so qualified teachers on the fringe surrounding London. Yeah, so Hertfordshire, Kent, that's 29,000. And people on outer London is 32,000. That's starting salary.
Yeah.
And people in inner London, 34,000. So you can see the jump from 28,000 to 34,000. So that's what it is. So, but it looks big like that. But remember, by the time you pay rent,
I wanted to say to the person,
when they take your tax, sometimes I look at my salary and say, hey, 1,000 and something pounds. Who did he go to? Eliza. Okay, no more Eliza. It's Charlie has taken his money. NHS has taken their money. Teachers' pension has taken their money. So every tax, my sister didn't understand it till I sent her my pay slip. I just said, see, that's my pay slip. Look how much tax I've paid this. Like deductions is close to 1,200 pounds. I'm not going to say my salary here, but they deduct almost 1,200. 400 goes to tax. Another 400 goes to NI. No, teacher's pension, which I'm not moaning about because when I'm old and wrinkly and still alive, God help me, I can enjoy what I've worked on. Then it's a very good pension for teachers. Then 300 and something goes to your national insurance, which again, I'm not complaining because my sister had her kids in America and I know how much she paid to have babies. Do you understand? When you put it in the grand scheme of things, that you're paying 300 pounds every month, But your child is ill, you just go to hospital. No money. That's a lot of that's what my NI is for. Just whenever I see that national insurance deduction, I'm like, that's all the national insurance benefits we've got. So there's no money about it. Yeah. Then if you get onto the leadership scale, like I'm head of maths in my school, you have some responsibility allowance. So the minimum for if you're on TLR 1, the minimum you can get is 8,000 extra. The maximum is 14,000 extra. So depends on how big your school is, depends on what the responsibility is. And that responsibility, you can get it whenever you start teaching. My first responsibility allowance was my second year of teaching. I was ICT coordinator in my school, and it wasn't like I was doing much, but that was like, oh, they want to keep you happy, especially if they see that you're good and doing your thing well. They will give you they call it TLR, it's teaching and learning responsibility allowance. But yeah, then if you become if you go on the leadership scale, it's easy, it keeps going up and up. So honestly, for head teachers, I will never be a head teacher though, because I don't have that time to be in school till midnight. Head teachers in outside England, they can earn up to 100 and something thousand every year. So it goes up to that. But it's not the route I want to take at all. So everybody has their own agenda.
Yeah. Thank you for breaking that down. There's no question here yet, but I'm going to say what people will have to understand that, when they called, okay, 28,000 is really good money, to be honest, but then don't go and translate it to your country's currency.
There's a way I do it sometimes. I say to people, take home tax calculator on the internet. I do it because I say type 28,000, take home tax calculator. Then you can it breaks it down for you. So yearly is 28,000. Yeah. But if you look at it monthly, it's coming at 2,300. No, is it 2,300? Where? Yep, 2,300. By the time they take the taxable income is on top of it, because everybody in England has got a limit. So no matter what you earn, if you don't earn up to 19,800, you're not taxed. Like there's a tax limit that they do, or taxable allowance. That's what it is. So they take it away. So they tax your income. The breakdown of your tax you pay every month is £257. Your national insurance is 157. So at the end of every month, what you go home with is £1,900.
National pension, uncle.
So when you put, some people don't pay pension. Most of my friends that are teachers, Nigerians, they don't. What is this? £300? No, give it back to me. But it's not really £300 because that pension is not being taxed. By the time one of my friends stopped it, and she said, "Oh, your mom only better off by £100." I said, yes, because your pension is tax-free.
Yes.
So they've already taken it out before they tax you. So when you now want to take it, they will still tax it. So you're better off paying your pension. You're better off paying your pension. So your take home, like without pension, I'm just saying, like on the salary calculator, anybody can do it anywhere in the world. Just type UK. All I typed on Google was salary calculator. Pay calculator UK. It does the breakdown for you so you can know what you're doing. So by the time you think about your rent, my son was doing a budget the other day. So he does business studies, GCSE. So he's only in year 9, so they've just started, and they said to them, do a budget. So he came here and went, this man earns 1,500 a month. How come at the end of the month he's on minus 300 after he's paid everything? I said, son, do you want me to tell you how minus I am? He was like, tell me you're on minus. I'm like, can't believe. By the time we pay for electricity, gas is our gas and electricity. I looked the other day, Jane, and he started screaming, 250 something pounds. Even though the government is giving us £60.
£60, yeah.
I didn't even like, what's the point? I'm not saying £60. I don't know. I'm grateful. Let me eat something from UK government. But by the time you pay rent, pay your gas, pay your council, our council tax here is 250 every month. Even though I screamed the first day we had it, so I was like, what? Why did we move to a place where we're paying £250 a council tax? Well, by the time you pay all those things, little money is left. Yeah. But honestly, I would say there's hope for teachers, because you can, if you're a maths teacher, English teacher, science teacher, you can do extra work outside. Yeah, you can tutor. Like now, I used to tutor and go to people's houses. You know how lesson teacher in Nigeria, no, I don't do that anymore. I'm just I sit in this study on my laptop in Zoom, and I do extra. So the tax that goes out from there is just small money. Like you can do your what's it called, self-assessment at the end of every year. And obviously you can say I paid for my laptop, I paid for my printing, I paid for electricity, take all those things out. So it's still like good income. Yeah. So in the grand scheme of things, teachers are not poorly paid in England.
No, something that is earning 28,000 is not poorly paid. But the thing is not, you can't say in regards to teachers alone, because right now it's all world, every profession, every trade wide, because the cost of living is what it is, tax is what it is. So definitely, then it's not this teacher, because I mean, if you I want nurses up until just when your starting salary was 25,000.
Yeah, it's
24,000 something. 24,000. It was during COVID. It was now up to 25,000. Then I think it was last year. It now went up to 27,000 for starting. If you're in working the NHS, band 5. So a very good, a good pay. So. So you should be sending us money, please.
Yeah, teachers have been. Someone was asking, are teachers paid overtime? It depends, right? So some schools in London will say to their teachers, or some schools that have money. So in this country, schools have money based on numbers, based on where they are, based on who sponsors them. Like some of the faith-based schools might have more money, but it doesn't. It depends on your cohort. So if you have children from lower socioeconomic background, I don't want to say poorer background, you get more money for them. So they call them PPU premium. So if the government is paying 3,000 for like our children, Jade, they'll pay 4,000 for those children who their parents are low income and things, just to support them. So what the teachers might say is like during the holiday, you can do lunch after school, school holiday revision session, and they'll pay you your hourly pay for it. Or maybe Easter holiday, they'll say, oh, come and run some sessions, and they'll pay for it. But most thing in teaching is they want you to do your goodwill. It's like, oh, give back to the community. So like me, I'll run lunchtime clubs. Nobody pays me for it, but it's what I want to do to make sure that the children get whatever. So your overtime will be your own private hustle. Do you understand? Get your own, start tutoring. There will be, once you advertise for tutoring, people will call you. I don't even advertise anymore. I will never advertise. I will never put an advert out because I don't have time, because my children are very busy outside school. I don't have time to start advertising. All I use is the people that maybe I taught their brother last year, or their sister 2 years ago, or their cousin 5 years. Oh, they say, oh, that teacher, go and get her and do this. Then I've got a friend who has a tutoring agency as well, and sometimes I work for her over time. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I didn't know that they don't really get. So does it mean this is one is coming from me now? Does it mean that so like when you go for summer holiday, is it that how does that cover?
So our salary, so you know that 28,000 is divided by 12.
Oh.
So they don't go. So no matter what month you're getting your salary. So that's 28,000 is not divided by.
Somebody's texting me. Hang on.
Yeah. So it's divided by 12. So you get paid every month of the year, unless you're a supply teacher. Like supply teaching is different. So when maybe like in Nigeria we say substitute teacher, or when your teacher is not there, someone that comes, and supply teachers are in high demand because a lot of schools don't have.
So supply teacher is like agency teacher that work for agency.
Yes.
So their rate is different.
Their rate is different. Now we're looking for a math teacher in my school. The agencies, once they see their email, I just delete it. I say, see these people, £300 a day. That's what we're charging. £300 a day.
You know what? See, I'm in the wrong profession.
No, but you know,
only that I don't know, man.
The agency will now take the money and now give you what they can give you. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have your own, if you say, oh, I'm the supply teacher, it's me and it's my agency, and you put it out, you'll be getting your own money. But a lot of, honestly, some supply teachers, when my friend started supplying, she was getting job every day. Is the problem is that you're going from one school to the other, you don't know where it is. Sometimes they'll say, oh, 2 weeks supply, 3 weeks supply. Just like agency nurses, it doesn't matter where you go, you can go to whichever hospital. That's what it's like for supply teachers. Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. But now, thank you so much. This is very enlightening. Now I'm rethinking. Now should be for just go.
See, you people that earn so much money from.
Oh, there's a question then. There's a question.
Teachers, no, teachers don't get council tax discounts. No.
Really?
No.
I thought they do. I used to think the teachers are like them.
No, we don't. Actually, NHS staff get more. You know how you people have your blue light card? We don't have anything like that.
Anyway,
like during COVID, when people were
giving for the 6 weeks vacation, you can go for.
Maybe. When they were giving NHS discounts, when I go to say, key worker, I'm a key worker, I'm a teacher. Oh, you're not on the list, sorry. So you people get a lot of discounting. We don't have there's a website that they say teachers discount, but it's a discount you can find wherever, but we don't get council tax discount at all. Only students. I think students, do nurses get council tax discount?
No, we don't get council tax. I think it's only
students that do.
The council newly discount. I think it's only
you can see your teacher, yeah, and please pay your council tax. So.
Okay. So now the nitty-gritty. What is it like being in a classroom?
It depends. Honestly, it depends. If you're primary, because this thing is open from primary to higher education as well. Yeah. So it depends. Obviously, if you're in a primary school, you have your own class. So you have your class of 30 children who you teach everything. You teach them maths, you teach them English, you teach them geography, science, whatever. Maybe you don't teach. My kids' school, they have a PE coach that comes in, right? My kids' school used to have specialist maths teachers, but not anymore because schools can't really afford that. So their class teacher will teach them everything in primary school. Obviously, when you're in secondary school, you have your class come, class go, class come, class go. So in my school, we have our own classrooms. So I stay in my classroom and the children come to me for their timetabled lessons. But some schools, you move around. So the children stay put and you move to their classes. And that was what we had to do during COVID. So during COVID, we moved around. So the children were staying in their zones. So we had to go teach them and go. But yeah, it's one of those things that you can't really explain to someone till they witnesses themselves. You need to come into a school, see how things work, right? And I'm always willing to, like some of my friends, when they say, they want to train to teach, I used to say to them, come and see me teach. Come to my school for 2 or 3 days and see if it's okay for you. And most of them will come and go, okay, it's not as bad as we think it is, right? So because children is like how you deal with it. We have got, like, there's no doubt that there's a behavior issue amongst teenagers wherever in the world. Yeah. But it just depends on how you deal with it. And the older you get, the more you relate with them, the better you are at dealing with this sort of behavior issues. But it's know your stuff. Once you know your stuff, the children will respect you. Yeah. Once you're not biased, the children will respect you. Once you've got a bit of fun in you, like you're not like going to be nobody can talk to me. They don't like that kind of thing. They don't like people shouting at them. I just say to them, like, when I raise my voice, they know, like, this is serious. But if you're like a teacher next door, they'll be shouting, God. Look at Sir can get well angry. And you don't even know what to say. That's how they are. They want, even though they won't treat you well, they want to be treated well. Yeah. And it's not just you. I get a lot of calls where parents will say, do I deal with them? What do I do next? And we're like, I've got a 13-year-old going on 14. I've got a 12-year-old. So we all know what children can be like. Yeah, everybody has got nieces and nephews. You've got neighbors, so you know how children can be like. Imagine now having 25 of them, 30 of them in a classroom. Different characters, different behaviors. So sometimes you're like, boom, mind blowing. But one thing I can guarantee you is that most classes, you might have 1 or 2 behavior issues. And once you know how to deal with them, you're fine. But every school has got their own behavior policy. So my school is first warning, C1. That's consequence 1. I'm telling you again, Jade, if you do this again, C2. If you think, no, this is becoming out of hand, like you've warned them the first time, the second time they're still talking when you're talking or not listening or not doing their work, Jade, pack your stuff. Next teacher's room. Jade might say, what? What did I do? I didn't do anything, miss. Why are you always picking on me? Jade, next person, next teacher's room, please. Go to Miss whatever's room. As if she's refusing, on call. Can I have support in room 27, please? Boom, send it. On call will come and pick her up. Either they put her in that room or they put her. Do you understand? So every school has got their own behavior policy, and you can follow it. Yeah. Some teachers are not consistent. Like my class, they know as you come into the class, this is what you do. As they're coming in, there's work on the board for them. Their books are already out on their table. Like I don't put, some teachers will put 1, 2, 3. Now put it on their table. They take their folder, they sit down, they start it. So if I'm still out there going, oh, hello you, how are you? Da, 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 da. If I turn around, you're not doing work, you know what's going to happen. So they don't joke with that. They already know that you set this rule. You will struggle. September sometimes is a struggle. Some people say don't smile till Christmas. I'm smiling now, but like from September, that first, once you set your tone for the first 2 weeks, life will be easier for you. So they know what to do. They know how to behave. They know. I have something on my board that says on my wall, every child is entitled to disruption-free learning every second, every minute of every day. Once you start to turn around to disrupt, I'll just say, Jade. And all I do is point to the board, to that board. They will go. They start. Do you understand? So it will. It's hard. It's not easy. And coupled with some children will have difficult home lives. You've got to be mom. You've got to be nurse. You've got to. Do you understand? Sometimes you're there. Have you eaten this morning? Have you done this? Come and do this. Some of them, I'm not going outside. The boys keep laughing at me because I'm thin. My room is full at lunchtime with children. Do you understand that kind of thing? So you've got to have that relationship, but also keep yourself there. Don't stoop to their level. Yes, don't stoop to their level. You can listen to them. Oh, miss, I've got a boyfriend. You're too old. You're too young to have a boyfriend. They know they can't talk to me about that kind of one. Those sort of ones. Mrs. Coming. Close your mouth, as in, don't talk. So those little things. Be very kind. Be nice, I would say. But me, I can be very nasty to them. When they're nasty to you, you tell them, okay, I'll deal with you. Don't let things go. Don't say, I'm giving you a count of 3. If you don't stop this, I'll do this, and you don't do it. Follow through. Whatever you tell a child, you're going to do.
Even in raising our children anyway. Yeah.
No matter what happens, you do it. They want, when they're in school, they see the amount of time I get called mom every day. When they, you call this mom. You called me mom the other day. So they always do it without knowing. So they see you as their mom. So they want that discipline. Children want discipline. Children want rules. Children want consequences. Children want praise as well. So always follow through. Always follow through. It's not going to be easy, but it's doable. It's doable. Yeah. It's doable.
This one, because I happen to teach in, not your kind of teaching, like in my church, in the children's department, and teach the children. And it will be, some of, especially when people that just come from Nigeria and they join the church community and they become church teachers, and they come with that method where they don't let the children express themselves. How can you talk like that. But we now know that it's good to let the children express themselves respectfully.
Yes, yeah.
And then the children say, oh, you were raising your voice, but I wasn't raising my voice. This is how I talk. Then it's too loud. And even my own children, sometimes when they talk, mommy,
yeah.
You know,
because we're loud. We are loud. I said to them, like at the start of every year, I say, look at me. I'm a black woman. In my country, we shout. Like we shout. When we're talking, we're shouting. As I'm talking now, we're shouting. So I'll be very animated with things. I'll be there, but I'm not shouting. When you hear me shout, you know. Like some new students, you go, stop shouting. Stop shouting. I'll say, you think this is shout? You think this is shout? Wait till you see shout. And they will just start laughing and go, aha. Then other children will say, no, Mrs. voice is loud. That's like, we are loud people. Get used to it. And don't make any excuses and think, oh, let them know I am Nigerian. They know, like even like the children will come and say, oh, Mace, that thing in Nigeria the other day was cool. So they know that you're not wanting to be, you know what I mean. Some people will be going, excuse me.
Because now did you develop this confidence from when you started immediately, or is something that you grew with and you got more?
It comes with it. Nobody develops confidence with, even till now, like when I want to present in front of teachers, I'm like, hey, Jesus, give me strength. Give me strength. But now, even if I wake up, I'll jump into a classroom wherever in the world, and I'm fine. Because you know it's the same thing. You've seen it all before. These are true. Like, do you understand? But this comes with years of experience. Because the good thing about England is that your first year, now they're doing the first 2 years of qualifying as a teacher. You're called an early career teacher. So your workload is not as much as every other person's workload. You've got 80% less on your timetable. Yes. Then you've got mentor sessions. So every week you have time on your timetable to sit and talk with your mentor. They come and see your lesson. They will support you. Like, say, oh, you did this the other day. Don't do it again. Do it this way. Or how do you think that lesson went? What would you do differently tomorrow? And I will ask anybody who's coming from Nigeria to do that. Do not say, oh, yes, I'm qualified, but I still need to be an ECT. I still need to be an early career teacher, because that support is invaluable. That support is just amazing. Everybody needs that support. So my first year of teaching, I had my mentor was fantastic. She will come and see my lesson. I'm like, oh, that lesson was rubbish. How can you say that? Oh, man, she will now show you this is what you did. Even the points that you didn't see, she will pick it out for you and say, please do this. Go and watch this. Go and do that. Do it this way. The other day, you did well. Keep up this. So you start to plan. Then you watch a lot of teachers. I say to people, during my NQT year, I spent most of my free lesson watching the best teachers in the school. And you learn a lot. Just guys, can I come and see your lesson today, Miss this person? Yeah, of course, Oma, you can come. I'll just go and sit there and say, hey, and I'll be wondering, why would I ever be like this in front of the classroom? But when you watch them, you get a lot of ideas, you get a lot of strategies, dealing with behavior, how you teach, how you present, just, it's invaluable watching other teachers teach. So I would suggest that everybody does it, tries it. Even if you don't have time, go and spend at least one lesson every week or every 2 weeks watching experienced teachers teach. It's quite good. And there's some people come to my class, when they finish, they'll say, I'll never be like you, Oma. I'll never be able to have this confidence in front of children. I say, you will. It's just time.
I think
all it is time.
In every profession, you think like I had that kind of fear and trepidation. Like I'm seeing people, I'm like, me, because some of the, in terms of equipment used, I think it would be like that for us. Like there's so many things I hadn't seen before until I came and in my iodine. One knows the one they pour in bottle. But there's nothing like that here. It's frozen. Okay, it's fine. But when you say the first time said go and to dress a patient's wound, go and get Inadine. Chogide Jogide Ayodin. I couldn't find.
Right. Yeah.
Good. So I'm sure it's something like that as well. There'll be, is there maybe a website or online where they can go, or it's something you have to, with experience, get used to and know?
You will. There are loads of resources out there. Loads. Twitter, like even me now on Twitter, I'm still reading, because there's some things you say, oh, this is how I taught it last year. I taught that lesson didn't work, especially for maths. Children struggle with maths because the foundations are not right sometimes. So you, as high school teacher, you're trying to unpick some of the things that they've learned before. You're trying to reteach it in different ways. Even till now, sometimes I'll go and be looking, searching. The good thing with Google is that everything is there. Yeah. So you can do it, but you have to keep, there are loads and loads of courses. There are loads of CPD courses out there. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. So everybody has to search. Whatever subject you want to search, just type that topic. You will see lessons. You see videos of people even teaching the lesson, and you can start to learn from it. But there's this thing, Educating Yorkshire. Wait, let me type it in here. That's
okay. Yeah. You want to put the link down? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the link, but I can't even wait. Got it. Can you let me type? So Educating
Yorkshire.
They have different ones, but this is my best one.
Yeah.
Because this was real. This one was not scripted at all. This one, you can see it is like teachers teaching people. Yeah. So Educating Yorkshire. I don't know if it's coming. Is it coming? I can't even see.
Yes.
So that Educating Yorkshire, it's really good.
Yeah.
You can see life in the UK and how it works. How teachers go above and beyond for people. So I advise everybody to go watch it. Go and watch it. Then go on that government website. It's the one that says apply for qualified teacher status. If you want to do this, go and apply first. Where's my mouse? I can't even see my mouse. Go and apply. So it's apply for QTS in England education. Yeah, I'll put that on the link. So when the video comes out on your page, I'll put the link for it. Go and look at it, see what it says. It says this you take about, they will ask you some questions. Check if you're eligible to apply for QTS. Understand the types of evidence you need to provide, because that's the most important thing. Once you apply for that QTS, and you get it, then you can get the ball rolling.
Okay. Thank you so very much. I know tomorrow is Monday and you're picking to go and get
children are already like I can see them peeping every minute. As in, are you still on this live?
Thank you so very much. I know but I think I have to be fair, because if I get enough questions again, I might schedule, and if you have time, you give us benevolence of your time.
I can give time. Time is one thing I have. As we don't get money, time is money. But I'm working in America.
If I get enough, I know this will provoke. Sometimes people don't know what to ask or what to say until that's when other things will be coming up.
And they can see my maths page. I used to be very good with this maths page but I don't use it that often now. But I was trying. The other day, I was just one of my friends said, "You don't post those questions again," because I used to post questions. This was really for moms who were struggling with homework for their children. Every day, like I'm telling you, every week I get like 3 pictures of homework. What the F is this, Omar? Can you do this for me? So I used to help their children out. So I said, okay, I'm going to start this maths page so I can be posting questions for people to answer. But everything that we start, there was no zeal to carry on. When I started it, I was so going. But me and Facebook are like, whatever. If anybody has any question, they can go to my maths page and email me, or on the link. Onyoma, email me on Facebook or send me a message on Facebook. I am happy to
very, very generous of you. Thank you so much.
I might not answer it the day you send it, because honestly, sometimes every day, like me and my kids are very sporty, so we're outside till almost 8 o'clock every night. Sometimes 8:30. When I say if I'm in football training, I might just have my gloves and answer your question or something like that. But don't expect an answer. Sometimes you get an answer the second you send it, but it won't always be that quick.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Very welcome.
I hope anyway, somebody had about a few messages, so which means they could hear. Otherwise, Yeah, and I had inbox message, but the way you were going, it was answering all the questions that I needed that was asked. So there was no need to, you touched on it. But if anything comes up, like you said, thank you so much.
That's fine. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jenny. Thanks for doing this for people, because
Yeah.
it's your time as well that you're giving up to do this. I don't know how social media works that well, apart from laughing at pictures on Instagram, but you've done you've been doing. I see you most times when you're talking about the nursing thing, and I was like, that's really. I actually sent my husband's niece to go and say, go and watch Jade, or go and, I don't know what you're asking me, just go and watch her and she can direct you. So yeah, well done. Well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Take care, Jade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take
All
care.
right. Yeah. Good
Bye.
night. Yeah. Bye.